Hi there, this is Tim with an Elite Dangerous video, and in this video I'm going to be on day one of my April exploration journey, which I've been on since the 6th of April. It's now the 23rd, and basically I'm going to take a little bit of a journey away from where most people go. So I'm going to go in the opposite direction to Sagittarius A. I'll show you exactly where. Starting off first of all about 1,000 light years away from Earth and Shinrata Deseret, where I currently am. I'm going to the California Nebula first. Now this will occupy just day one. It's 1,000 light years, but didn't have a lot of time, so this video is just covering the one nebula. And you can see it's a little bit below where most of the populated space is, or at least where Sol and Shinrata Deseret are. And obviously just over 1,000 light years, so I have to back up a little bit so that I can plot a navigation route. 1027 at that point. And 983, so that will do. And that's my route plotted. And you can see the 1,000 light year squares there. You can see Barnard's Loop in the foreground. That's actually where I accidentally crashed my Anaconda the day before this. But obviously didn't put me off exploration. Lost my Anaconda and was obviously sent back to Jameson Memorial with my insurance. But here you can see how many jumps it was to get there. It wasn't a really big deal. Didn't take that much time. Didn't really stop to look at anything as well though, so it was a pretty quick journey all in all. You can see the different sector names that I'm going through if you're quick. Just arrived in California sector now. Giving you a little look at the outside of my Anaconda as we approach California Nebula in front. And the Anaconda does make exploration a lot easier. Every bit of exploration I've done before really was in a Cobra Mark III, and I liked the Cobra because it had, well, it was pretty good with heat, really. I tried an asp, and every time I screwed up and got too close to a star, it would do so much heat damage. I found a Cobra was actually better for me. Now here, I put this in here as I'm flying away from this star, because I want to point something out that I think impacts how a lot of people think this game looks. As I'm flying away from the star that's now behind me, I have another star to the upper left of me, and I have another star to the right of me. And basically the ambient light from space and the ambient light from the nebula that's actually in front of me is completely drowned out by the light from the stars. It's the same way that if you live in a city, you can't see the stars in the sky as well compared to if you lived in Hawaii or somewhere like that where there's very little light pollution. The best thing that you can actually do to get a fantastic view of any nebula is to go into a system, go to the shaded side, the dark side of a planet, and just basically sit in its shadow. As you go into that shadow, you will literally, the stars, space, dust, everything will just, almost like you've turned a light switch on. It'll just like burst out at you, and the colors of a nebula will look completely kind of different. And in this nebula, with these kind of the kind of contents that this nebula has, you'll see greens, you'll see kind of yellows and things like that, rather than the reds and pinks and just blacks that you're currently seeing. With it being just 1,000 light years away, it's one that I really recommend that if you're just starting out with exploration, you visit this place first. You know, come here, see if your fitting works, see if exploration is actually for you. You know, because by the time you get here, you might have kind of figured out, you know, I need to change something And when you get here, it's a nice place to come, because there are places you can go with exploration that just kind of disappoint. You know, or it takes too long to get somewhere that's as exciting and nice of a place to be as this is. So you know, that's something to think about. So here, this is a series of stills that I'm going to end the video with. This is all the screenshots that I took. You can actually grab all of these in the original 3840 by 2160 pixels resolution on my website, which is linked in the info. I've also written a journal which basically tells the same thing that I've said with my voiceover here. But I have a journal of other places that I've visited, combat, stuff like that I've done within the game that you can read about as well. If you want to subscribe, please do that, and please stay tuned for day 2 and onwards, because things get a lot more interesting. I screw up a few times, and I see some really exciting things. Thanks, bye.